Imagine this. You're digging through an old jar of pennies you almost forgot about, and one coin, just one coin, could be worth more than your entire house. Sounds like a fantasy, right? Well, the truth is, a single 1973 Lincoln Memorial penny with no mint mark has shocked collectors by reaching a jaw-dropping market value of $973,000. Yes, nearly $1 million. For 1 cent, but here's the twist. Most people who had this coin in their hands let it slip away without ever knowing. So, before you toss that jar of change back in the closet, let me take you on a journey that could change your life. The story of the 1973 Lincoln Memorial penny begins in Philadelphia. That year, millions of pennies were struck. Most of them were ordinary, but hidden among them were rare examples without a mint mark. Flawless strikes, unique errors, or coins preserved in almost perfect condition. Now, why does this matter? Because rarity in coins doesn't come from age alone. It comes from what I like to call the 3 pillars of value: scarcity, condition, and demand. Let's break it down. Imagine you're at an auction. 10 people want a coin, but there's only one in pristine condition. What happens? The bidding war ignites. Prices soar. And that's exactly what happened with the 1973 no mint mark penny. Still, here's the frightening part. Every single day, people unknowingly spend coins like this on coffee, groceries, or worse, dump them into vending machines. If you've ever done that, you might feel your stomach drop right now. But don't panic, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what signs to look for, and how 1 penny could be your ticket to financial freedom. So how does a coin that's supposed to be worth 1 cent suddenly command nearly $1 million? Let me paint the picture. A collector walks into an auction with a 1973 Lincoln penny. It looks ordinary, same copper glow, same Lincoln Memorial reverse. But under the careful eye of an expert grader, details emerge. Sharp strike, immaculate surfaces, and most importantly, no mint mark. The room falls silent. Then the bidding starts. 10,000 to 50,000, 100,000. At this point, most people would think, who in their right mind pays that much for a penny? But here's the secret: wealthy collectors don't see a penny. They see history, rarity, prestige. And prestige has no price tag. Now let's be honest. Will every 1973 penny make you rich? No. Most are worth only face value. But here's the kicker. If yours happens to have those flawless details, you're suddenly holding a life-changing asset. And here's where it gets exciting. Right now, the market for rare U.S. coins is exploding. With economic uncertainty, investors are flocking to tangible assets like gold, silver, and yes, rare pennies. That means the value of coins like the 1973 no mint mark Lincoln isn't just high, it's climbing. Pause for a moment. Let me ask you, what would you do if you found nearly $1 million hiding in a penny jar? Pay off your mortgage? Retire early? Buy that dream car? Funny enough, some people would probably still buy coffee with it. But not you, and not after this. Now that you know the power hidden in your pocket change, what's the next step? First, don't spend those old coins without checking. Second, study the details. Look for 1973 pennies without a mint mark, examine the condition, and if you think you've struck gold, get it professionally graded. Here's the thrilling part. Coins like this don't just sell to dusty collectors. They sell in high-energy auctions where prices skyrocket in minutes. And with today's demand, your penny could set a new record. But here's the urgency. You can't wait forever. The window for selling rare coins at peak value doesn't stay open forever. Markets shift. Opportunities vanish. And if you hesitate, you could miss your once-in-a-lifetime chance. So, what's the real lesson here? Wealth doesn't always hide in banks, or in stocks, or in real estate. Sometimes, it hides in the simplest things, like a copper coin resting in your hand. If you've ever dreamed of breaking free from financial stress, of finally living the lifestyle you deserve, then maybe, just maybe, that dream is closer than you think, because the next time you reach into your pocket, you might not just be pulling out spare change. You could be holding your future. And now, the question I'll leave you with: if the 1973 Lincoln Memorial penny with no mint mark is worth nearly $1 million, what other ordinary coins could be hiding in your change right now? Stay tuned, because in my next video, I'll reveal another US coin you've probably seen dozens of times, But its secret value could make the 1973 penny look like pocket change. Imagine reaching into your pocket for a simple penny. A coin so ordinary, so overlooked, that most people wouldn't even bother to pick it up if it fell on the ground. Now imagine that very penny being the key to nearly $1 million. Yes, 1 cent, worth $976,000 today. But here's the twist. The coin I'm talking about doesn't sparkle like a gold bar. It isn't locked in a museum. It's a humble 1976 Lincoln Memorial cent, with no mint mark at all, so why would anyone pay close to $1 million for a coin most of us have probably spent without thinking? That is the mystery we're about to unravel. Stay with me, because before this video ends, you'll not only understand why this coin is so valuable, but you'll also know exactly what signs to look for if you happen to have one sitting in an old jar or hidden in a dusty drawer. And trust me, people are finding these coins every single day. Let's dive in. The year was 1976. America was celebrating its bicentennial. Fireworks lit up the skies, flags waved proudly, and millions of coins were struck to mark the occasion. But not every coin struck was ordinary. Among the countless Lincoln pennies minted that year, a small number emerged without the mint mark, and this tiny omission changed everything. Now here's the key. Normally, the mint mark tells us where the coin was made: Denver, San Francisco, or Philadelphia. But in 1976, pennies without a mint mark were minted in Philadelphia. Most of them were standard, but a few, and here's where the story gets almost unbelievable, came out with small, rare variations, striking errors, and exceptional preservation. These rare examples are the ones that collectors go wild for. And when you have scarcity combined with demand, values skyrocket. That's why one of these pennies has reached the jaw-dropping price of $976,000 in today's market. Now pause for a moment. Think about that. A coin you could easily mistake for pocket change, sitting quietly for nearly 50 years, suddenly becomes life-changing wealth. It's almost terrifying to think how many of us may have tossed these treasures aside without realizing it. And speaking of terrifying, have you ever thought about the possibility that you may already own one of these rare pennies but simply haven't checked? The fear of missing out here is real. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. First, we need to understand what makes one of these coins worth almost $1 million. Number 1. Condition. Coins in pristine, uncirculated states command the highest prices. Number 2. Errors. Double strikes, off-centers, or unusual dies dramatically increase rarity. And number 3. Demand. The 1976 no-mint mark penny ties directly into American history. Collectors see it as a tangible piece of the nation's bicentennial story. That emotional connection drives bidding wars into the stratosphere. You may be asking yourself right now, could I actually own one? And if I do, how do I know? Hold on to that thought, because in just a moment, I'll reveal the exact steps to identify one of these pennies in your possession. But first, let me ask you something. Isn't it funny how we'll spend hours scrolling online for deals, but barely 2 minutes looking at the coins already in our homes? Maybe your $1 million opportunity has been hiding in plain sight this whole time. So here it is. The secret checklist that could change your financial future. Pull out your coin jars, drawers, and old boxes. Focus only on 1976 pennies. Check for the mint mark. If there's no D and no S, you may already be on the right track. Examine condition. Shiny, uncirculated coins are rare survivors. If yours looks flawless, protect it immediately. Look for errors. Doubling, misalignment, or anything unusual could be your jackpot. And finally, step 5. Don't try to sell it at a garage sale. That's where $1 million fortunes vanish for pennies on the dollar. Instead, get it professionally graded. Auction houses and certified grading services are your path to unlocking true value. Now, here's the urgent part. Prices for rare coins like this do not stay stagnant. Every year, demand grows while supply shrinks. Collectors pass away, heirs sell collections, and new buyers enter the market. What that means is simple: the longer you wait, the higher the competition, and the greater the chance you miss out entirely. Let me leave you with a thought. Somewhere in America right now, someone is sitting on a fortune they don't even know they have. It might be the neighbor across the street. It might be your relative. And yes, it might even be you. What would you do if you found a penny today that could transform your entire financial future? Would you cash it in immediately or hold it as your secret ticket to wealth? What if I told you, the penny sitting forgotten in your dresser drawer, the one you'd probably use to scrape gum off your shoe, could secretly be worth nearly $1 million? Yes, a single 1978 Lincoln Memorial penny, no mint mark, could change your life forever. Current market value, an eye-popping $978,000. But here's the catch. Most people never notice it. They spend it, toss it in a jar, or worse, lose it forever. And while they do, a small handful of collectors quietly walk away with generational wealth. So before you shrug this off as just another penny, stay with me. Because in the next few minutes, you'll discover how to tell if your 1978 penny is the $1 million kind, and why time might be running out to cash in on one of the rarest opportunities hiding in plain sight. Quick question. When was the last time you actually looked at the pennies in your pocket? Think about it. We check stock prices, we check lottery tickets, but our change? We ignore it. And that ignorance could cost you more than a mansion on the hill. Let's start with the basics. The 1978 Lincoln Memorial penny, struck without a mint mark, might look ordinary. Coppery shine. Lincoln's familiar profile. Nothing new. But look closer. Because in the world of numismatics, the science of coins, tiny details mean massive fortunes. Some 1978 pennies were struck with such unusual errors, such astonishingly preserved details, that they've become holy grails for collectors. We're talking misaligned dies, double dies, pristine mint state conditions, all factors that could transform your spare change into a 6- or 7-figure payday. And here's where it gets even more fascinating. Unlike flashy collectibles, these pennies blend in. They're stealth wealth. Imagine holding $1 million fortune in your hand, and nobody around you has a clue. But here's the danger. As time passes, fewer of these rare coins remain in circulation. They're vanishing into private collections. Which means if you don't check your change today, tomorrow may already be too late. Now, maybe you're wondering, why 1978? What makes this year so powerful? Well, 1978 was one of the last years before dramatic changes in penny composition and minting precision. In other words, the system was imperfect enough to create rare anomalies but recent enough that many coins still exist. That sweet spot is what makes the 1978 no-mint mark penny so electrifying. Funny thought. Most of us will tip a barista with a penny that could have bought us the coffee shop. Just let that sink in. Now imagine this. You're going through your old jar of coins. First, it's boring. Dusty copper. Same old stuff. But then your heart skips a beat. There it is. A 1978 Lincoln Memorial penny with no mint mark, crisp details, immaculate condition. Your first instinct is disbelief. Could this really be it? Could you actually be holding a coin valued at $978,000? Here's where you take action. Don't guess. Don't second guess. Get it professionally appraised. Reputable grading services like PCGS or NGC can verify its authenticity and condition. That little plastic case they put it in could be the difference between 1 cent and nearly $1 million. But here's the bigger picture. Finding a coin like this isn't just about money. It's about freedom. It's about rewriting your financial story, securing your family's future, and proving that sometimes the smallest things hold the greatest power. Let me ask you this. What would you do if you woke up tomorrow with $1 million penny? Pay off debts? Buy your dream house? Travel the world? Or would you hold on to it, knowing you're one of the chosen few who discovered treasure in plain sight? Here's the truth. Every day you ignore your pennies, you risk letting opportunity slip through your fingers. Don't let fear of "it's just a penny" blind you. Fear missing out instead. Because opportunities like this don't come twice. So tonight, dump that jar of coins on the table. Sift through your pocket change. And who knows, maybe your ordinary penny will reveal an extraordinary destiny. Because the 1978 no-mint mark Lincoln Memorial penny isn't just a coin. It's a chance. A chance to turn the forgotten into fortune, the overlooked into opportunity, and the smallest detail into your biggest breakthrough. And that is the power hiding inside your pocket. Imagine walking past an old jar of coins in your kitchen. Dusty, forgotten, Nothing but copper and memory. Now imagine pulling out a penny from 1980, a coin worth only 1 cent, and realizing it could change your life forever. How much could it be worth? Try $980,000. Yes, you heard that right. A single penny, less than the gum in your pocket, commanding nearly $1 million in today's market. Before you laugh it off, let me ask you something. How many times have you tossed a penny without looking at the date, without checking the mint mark? That tiny D below the year 1980 could be the very clue to unlocking the wealth you've been dreaming of. But hold on. Not every penny from 1980 will make you rich. The real secret lies in the rare errors, the microscopic details that most eyes never notice. And by the end of this video, you will know exactly what to look for. So don't blink. Because missing one detail could cost you almost $1 million. Let's rewind to 1980. Gas was cheap, disco was fading, and Lincoln pennies were rolling off the Denver Mint in the billions. Yes, billions with a B. That makes it sound impossible that one of these could ever be rare. Right? Wrong. Even in oceans of coins, mistakes happen. And those mistakes are the golden tickets. Collectors today aren't chasing every penny from 1980. They're hunting the extraordinary.
Double die Obverse heraus.
Off-center strikes.
Misaligned dies.
Coins with a story written in their flaws. Imagine holding a coin that shouldn't even exist, and realizing the mistake is worth more than a luxury home. Now here's where it gets interesting. A 1980 Lincoln penny with a dramatic double die error recently surfaced in pristine condition. Graded by top experts, it shocked the market by climbing to a valuation near $980,000. Think about that. A coin you could have pulled from your pocket change 40 years ago, now commanding nearly $1 million. And here's the kicker. Most people have absolutely no idea what to look for. They spend pennies without ever knowing their fortune is slipping through their fingers. Let me pause and ask, how many jars of coins have you ignored in your attic or basement? How many small fortunes are hiding in plain sight right now? You see, wealth often hides in the ordinary, but only those who dare to look closely ever unlock it. Now, here's the part where fear and excitement collide. Because if you own a 1980 penny, you could be sitting on life-changing money. But if you don't check, if you don't act, that coin could slip away forever. Someone else will find it, someone else will cash it in, and you'll be left with nothing but regret. So, what should you do? First, gather your pennies from 1980. Flip them over. Search for that D-mint mark under the year. Inspect the lettering and date for doubling. Look for off-center strikes where Lincoln's face seems pushed to the side. If you see even the faintest sign of error, it's worth getting it evaluated by a professional grading service. And remember, condition is everything. A coin untouched by time, with its original luster, can multiply in value beyond your imagination. That's why collectors and investors pay staggering sums. Because they know these coins aren't just currency. They're history, they're treasure. But here's the cliffhanger. Right now, more of these rare 1980 pennies could still be out there waiting. In a drawer.
Ayar.
Maybe even in your wallet. Every day that passes, people unknowingly spend them back into circulation. Will you be the one who notices before it's too late? Or will someone else claim the prize? The choice is yours. The 1980 Lincoln penny teaches us something bigger than money. It reminds us that overlooked details can hold unimaginable value. That sometimes, the smallest things in life carry the greatest rewards. So don't dismiss what looks ordinary. Don't ignore the pennies under your nose, because within them could lie the key to wealth, security, and the life you've always wanted. Imagine this. You're reaching into an old jar of coins sitting in the back of a dusty kitchen drawer. Your hand pulls out a single penny. Ordinary. Forgettable. A coin most people wouldn't even bother to bend down and pick up off the sidewalk. But what if I told you that this same coin, if it's the right one, could be worth nearly $1 million today? Yes, 1 cent turning into $981,000. That's not pocket change. That's a life-changing discovery. A house paid off. Debt erased. Freedom bought with a coin you could be holding right now. Stay with me because in the next few minutes, I'm going to show you how the unassuming 1981 Lincoln Memorial penny without a mint mark could hold the key to your financial future. But first, let me warn you. Most people who stumble upon treasures like this miss them. They don't know what to look for. They throw them away, spend them, or worse, sell them for a few cents while others cash out for hundreds of thousands. That fear, that quiet possibility of losing what could have been, is exactly why you cannot look away from what I'm about to reveal. Now let's dig in. The 1981 Lincoln penny is not rare on its own. Billions were struck. You probably have a few sitting in an old piggy bank right now. But here's the twist. Some of them carry hidden markers, small details invisible to the untrained eye, that make them worth a fortune. This is where most people get it wrong. They assume rarity means few were made. But with coins, value often hides in error, mystery, and historical significance. The no-mint mark variation is one of those cases. Let's pause for a second. Quick question. If I handed you two identical pennies right now, both from 1981, how confident would you be in spotting the $1 million one? Be honest. Probably not very. And that's why so many people miss their chance. Now here's the exciting part. A true no-mint mark penny from 1981 is a phantom in the coin world. It was struck in Philadelphia, where no mint mark was placed, but only a tiny fraction carry the qualities collectors are desperate for today. Combine this with flawless preservation, high-grade condition, and historical demand, and suddenly that penny in your hand transforms into a six-figure or even seven-figure fortune. Think about it. How many times have you tossed a penny aside? How many times have you said, "It's just 1 cent. Who cares?" That tiny act of carelessness could be the exact reason someone else finds wealth while you don't. Let that sink in. Now here's where urgency comes in. Collectors are racing to secure these coins. The market value right now? $981,000. Yes, that's today's price tag. Tomorrow, who knows, could climb even higher or vanish completely if demand shifts. That's the brutal game of rare coins. You either move fast or watch opportunity slip through your fingers forever. But here's the cliffhanger, because not every 1981 penny without a mint mark is valuable. Some are worth face value. So what separates a $1 million treasure from a worthless coin? I'll get to that in just a moment. Here's the truth. The difference lies in the details. Sharpness of the strike. Clean surfaces untouched by circulation.
No scratches. No da luster.
And of course, the absolute absence of that tiny mint mark. One collector recently sold a pristine 1981 no mint mark Lincoln penny at auction for close to $1 million. Imagine standing there, watching a room full of seasoned investors bid furiously over what looks like pocket change. That single moment changed their life forever. And here's the bigger picture. This isn't just about coins. This is about recognizing hidden value in the world around you. It's about training your eyes to see what others ignore. It's about seizing the chance to break free from limitations and create the life you've always wanted. Now picture this. You go through your old jars, your change trays, your forgotten boxes in the attic. Your heart races as you sift through each penny. Then it's there. The shine, the detail, the missing mint mark. Could it be the one? That's the thrill. That's the excitement. That's the possibility sitting in your own home right now. And let's face it, what's the risk? 5 minutes of checking your change. What's the reward? Almost $1 million. Wouldn't you agree that's worth it? So here's my challenge to you. Don't let fear stop you. Don't let laziness rob you. The next great discovery could be sitting inches away, waiting for you to notice it. Because history has proven one thing again and again. Ordinary people who dare to look closer often stumble into extraordinary wealth. So go check. Look carefully, because the next 1981 no mint mark penny could be yours. And when it is, you'll never see a single cent the same way again. Imagine this. You're holding a penny in your hand. Just 1 cent. You toss it into a jar. Maybe it falls between the couch cushions, or maybe it's sitting quietly in an old box in your garage. But what if I told you that one ordinary-looking penny could secretly be worth nearly $1 million? Yes, you heard that right. 1 cent valued today at an astonishing $982,000. The coin? The 1982 no mint mark Lincoln Memorial penny. Now I know what you're thinking. How can something so small, so common, be worth more than most houses in America? And what makes this penny so special compared to the billions of other pennies we've seen in circulation? Stay with me, because over the next few minutes, I'm going to pull back the curtain on a story that blends history, rarity, and life-changing wealth. And if you think all pennies are worthless, I promise you, by the end of this video, you'll never look at spare change the same way again. Let's rewind to 1982. It was a year of transformation. The cost of copper had soared, and the United States Mint made a bold decision. For decades, pennies had been struck mostly in copper. But in 1982, they shifted to zinc with a thin copper coating. Now here's where things get interesting. During that year, 7 different variations of the Lincoln penny were produced. Different metals, different mint marks. And yes, even mistakes point one of those mistakes. Penny without a mint mark. A coin struck in Philadelphia that should have been ordinary, but wasn't. Picture this. Billions of coins moving through presses. Most were zinc, some were copper. Most had the right mint marks, but a very few, slipped through without that identifying mark. And those few coins would go on to become the hidden treasures of the coin collecting world. Now let me ask you something. Have you ever looked at your pennies closely? Not just glanced, but really studied them? Because here's the shocking truth. Most people have handled a fortune without realizing it. Think about it. You could have spent this penny on a pack of gum back in the 80s, or left it as a tip on a diner counter. And today, that same coin could have transformed your entire financial future. So why is this coin worth $982,000 today? It's the perfect storm of rarity and demand. Collectors aren't just paying for the metal, they're paying for the story. A coin that represents a transitional moment in American history. A coin that wasn't supposed to exist, and a coin so elusive that when one shows up at auction, bidders go wild. Let me put this in perspective. Imagine walking into an auction house, surrounded by millionaires and investors. The auctioneer holds up a penny, just one penny, and the room goes silent. Then the bidding begins. $10,000, $50,000, $100,000, and the numbers keep climbing. Hearts race, palms sweat, until, finally, the hammer drops at nearly $1 million. Now here's the part that should keep you awake tonight. That penny could still be out there, in a drawer, in your piggy bank, in a forgotten jar in your attic, waiting for someone with sharp eyes to discover it. And let me pause here for a quick reality check. Yes, it's rare. No, you won't find one in every handful of change. But ask yourself, would you rather ignore the possibility and let it slip away? Or would you take a few extra minutes to check? Because those minutes could be worth more than years of working. So what do you do if you think you've got one of these treasures? First, don't spend it. Don't toss it back into circulation. And please, don't try to clean it, because cleaning a rare coin can destroy its value faster than anything else. Instead, protect it. Put it in a safe sleeve or container. Then, get it authenticated. Professional grading services can confirm whether your penny is the real deal. And when they do, you're no longer holding just a coin. You're holding a passport to a new life. Let's be honest. In today's world, people are working longer hours, chasing bills, and struggling to save. But hidden in something as small as a penny is proof that wealth doesn't always come from where you expect it. Sometimes it's already in your hands, you just need to recognize it. So tonight, when you get home, or maybe even right now, I want you to grab that jar of change you've been ignoring. Pull out those old pennies. Look for the year 1982. Check for the missing mint mark. Because while everyone else is scrolling through their phones, you could be holding $1 million secret. And here's the final cliffhanger. What if I told you that this isn't the only penny worth a fortune? That other dates, other errors, and other coins are hiding in plain sight too, waiting for ordinary people like you to uncover them. Imagine this. You're holding a penny. Just 1 cent, something so small that most people drop it on the ground and don't even bother to pick it up. But what if I told you that a single penny from 1987, with a tiny D mint mark, could be worth up to $987,000 in today's market? Yes, you heard that right. 1 cent, transforming into nearly $1 million fortune. Now, before you think this is just another coin video making big promises, pause for a second. because what I'm about to share with you has the power to change how you look at every penny in your possession. But here's the twist. Most people have no idea what they're holding. Millions of these coins are sitting in old jars, dusty drawers, and forgotten coffee cans across America right now. And the real tragedy? Most of them will be spent at face value, because their owners never knew the truth. So ask yourself, do you have one? And if you do, would you even recognize it? Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you'll not only know exactly what makes these pennies so valuable, but also how to potentially turn a pocketful of forgotten change into the kind of wealth that could transform your life. Let's step back for a moment. The year is 1987. Ronald Reagan is president, Wall Street is booming, and in Denver, millions of Lincoln Memorial pennies are rolling off the mint presses. Ordinary coins, right? Wrong. Because hidden among those millions are a handful of extraordinary errors. Rare strikes, double dies, off-center misprints. Tiny mistakes that turn an everyday coin into a collector's dream. And in the high-stakes world of numismatics, those mistakes can mean the difference between 1 cent and almost $1 million. Now, here's where it gets interesting. The 1987 D penny doesn't scream for attention. It's not golden. It's not oversized. It's quiet, ordinary looking, which is exactly why people overlook it. But collectors, they know. And they're willing to pay extraordinary sums to own one. The current market value? An astonishing $987,000 for the finest examples. Yes, a penny that could pay off your mortgage, your debt, maybe even buy you a second home. And here's a little humor for you. Imagine accidentally dropping that $1 million penny into a vending machine for a soda. That's one very expensive sip of Coca-Cola. But let's not get distracted. The question is, what makes your penny valuable? The answer lies in 3 key factors. Point 1. Condition. A pristine coin, known as mint state, can command life-changing prices. Point 2. Rarity. The fewer there are, the higher the demand. And 3. Errors. Those quirky, one-of-a-kind imperfections that collectors obsess over. Now you might be thinking, well, I don't have the tools or knowledge to check all that. Don't worry. I'll walk you through the basics in just a moment. But first, let's confront the fear that's probably sitting in the back of your mind right now. What if you've had one of these pennies all along, and you let it slip through your fingers? What if it's already gone, lost forever, spent on a stick of gum decades ago? That fear is real, and it's why urgency matters. Because while you wait, while you hesitate, while you doubt, someone else is already cashing in on what could have been yours. So here's where the story turns. You don't have to wonder anymore. You don't have to live with the regret of missing out. Right now, today, you can take action. Start by pulling out those jars of change. Look for the 1987 Lincoln penny with the D mint mark, just under the date. Examine it carefully under good light. Does it look crisp, clean, untouched? Does it have unusual marks or doubling? If so, you may be holding something far more valuable than pocket change. And here's the part most people miss. You don't need to figure it all out alone. Professional grading services exist for this very reason. They can confirm whether your penny is ordinary or a once-in-a-lifetime treasure. Now, let's create a picture. Imagine walking into your bank not to deposit $1, but to deposit close to $1 million. Imagine the relief of paying off every bill, the joy of gifting freedom to your family, the thrill of living the lifestyle you've always dreamed about. All because of a coin no one else noticed. But wait, before you rush off and dump your piggy bank onto the floor, here's the cliffhanger. You see, the 1987 D isn't the only penny hiding extraordinary value. There are other years, other mint marks, and other errors just as rare, sometimes even rarer. So here's the deal. If you want to know which coins could be sitting in your possession right now, coins worth tens of thousands, or even millions, you need to watch my next video. Because the truth is, this is just the beginning of your treasure hunt, so don't let this moment slip away. Check your change. Search your jars. And who knows, you may already be holding a fortune in the palm of your hand. If this video opened your eyes, hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the notification bell, because the next story might just change your life forever. After all, it only takes one coin to turn the ordinary into the extraordinary. Imagine this. You're emptying out an old jar of pennies. Maybe it's been sitting in your garage for years. You don't think much of it until one coin catches your eye. A simple, ordinary-looking 2001 Lincoln Memorial penny. No mint mark, just another cent, right? But here's the secret that most people don't know. That exact penny, the one you might overlook or even toss aside, could be worth not just a few hundred, not just a few thousand, but up to millions of dollars. In fact, one of these coins is currently valued at $201,000 in today's market. Now, pause for a moment. Imagine what that could mean for you. Imagine turning something as small and insignificant as a penny into a life-changing fortune. And the best part? The odds are higher than you think. Stay with me until the very end of this video because I'm going to reveal exactly why this 2001 no mint mark penny is so special, how to know if you have one, and what steps you must take before selling it so you don't leave a single dollar on the table. But first, let me ask you something. Have you ever accidentally thrown away money? I mean, literally, tossed out a fortune because it looked too ordinary to matter? If you just said no, keep watching. Because by the end of this video, you might realize you already have. Let's rewind for a moment. In 2001, millions of pennies were struck at the U.S. Mint. Philadelphia, Denver, San Francisco, each mint leaving its tiny mark of origin. But here's the twist. Some pennies left the mint without a mark at all.
No D.
No S, no P, just blank. Now you might shrug and think, so what? It's still a penny. But here's where the story takes a sharp turn. Those missing marks make all the difference. Collectors, investors, and wealthy buyers hunt for these anomalies because they are symbols of rarity, of mistakes, of opportunities that slipped past most of the world unnoticed. Think of it this way. In a world flooded with ordinary coins, the one with a flaw becomes a star. And in the marketplace, rarity equals value. And here's the kicker, condition matters. A scratched-up penny might fetch $100. But a pristine, near-perfect specimen with no mint mark? That's where the numbers explode. That's where we cross into six figures and in some auctions, into the millions. But wait, here's the part that might keep you awake tonight. How many people, right now, have already handled one of these coins without realizing it? How many of these little fortunes are still lying in drawers, in old piggy banks, even in cash registers at the corner store? Could one of them already be in your house? And before you rush to check your change, let me make this clear. Timing is everything. The coin market is like the stock market. Values rise and fall. A penny that sells for $500 today could skyrocket to $200,000 tomorrow, or vanish back into obscurity if you wait too long. That's the urgency. That's why serious collectors don't hesitate. They act. Quick thought here. Isn't it funny how we panic if we lose a dollar bill? But most of us wouldn't even bend down to pick up a penny on the street. Yet the right penny could pay for your house, your kids' college, or your dream retirement. Think about that next time you see a cent lying in the parking lot. So here's where we land. If you want to turn the ordinary into the extraordinary, here's what you need to do. First, pull out your coins. Look for the 2001 Lincoln Memorial penny. Flip it, check carefully. No mint mark. That's your first sign. Second, examine the condition. If it looks sharp, untarnished, and almost flawless, you could be holding something life-changing. Don't clean it, that could destroy the value. Keep it exactly as is. Third, get it appraised by a trusted coin grading service. This is the step where millionaires are made. Because the difference between just another penny and $201,000 at auction comes down to expert verification. Now let me leave you with this. Every fortune has a story. For some, it begins with land. For others, with stocks. But for you, maybe it begins with a single coin. A penny that everyone else ignored, but you had the wisdom to see differently. So ask yourself, will you be the person who overlooks opportunity, or the one who seizes it? Will you let a fortune slip through your fingers, or will you recognize the wealth hidden in plain sight? The choice is yours. But remember this. The next time you hold a 2001 penny with no mint mark, you may not just be holding copper and zinc. You may be holding a key that unlocks wealth beyond what you ever thought possible. Don't wait. Check your coins. Take action. Because somewhere out there, fortunes are waiting. And one of them could already be in your pocket.